Comedy bang bang, 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 comedy bang bang.
When I realized we had somehow inadvertently hit upon our own Christmas tradition merely by chance talking about the Mr. Microphone commercial on 2 consecutive Best of episodes, I realized we had to keep it going. And I realized we had to, and here's what it stems from. There is a phrase in these commercials. Paul, maybe you want to say exactly what it is.
The phrase is, hey, good looking, we'll be back to pick you up later.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll, sometimes we'll. And I'll tell you why I know that. In previous years, and this comes up, we'll say, hey, good looking, I'll be back to pick you up later. Or, hey, good looking, we'll be back to pick you up later. And that just came up 2 different years, and then we broke down the commercial and our problems with it.
Yeah.
Now, I have not seen this commercial in 30 years. It has just been seared into my brain.
Me too.
And my issue with the Mr. Microphone product is this. I would watch the commercial, and this is what I would imagine, is that I would be in a situation where I would buy a Mr. Microphone, I would find some good-looking women walking down the street listening to their radios, and I would turn on my microphone and take over their radio.
That's right.
And out of their radio, they would hear my voice, and I would say, hey,
your message.
My message. And I'd be on message and on brand by saying, hey, good looking, I'll be back to pick you up later.
Sure.
And I was very disappointed when I got a Mr. Microphone that it does not broadcast to random radio signals. That would be insane.
Yeah.
If you could usurp anyone's radio at any time.
It's not Mr. Pirate Microphone.
No. It's not some sort of Christian Slater pump up the volume situation with pirate radio. No. One had to turn their radio to a specific frequency on the radio dial, normally very, very low, some like 86.9, something that no one would be listening to.
Because there's nothing there.
There's nothing there, and that's why they pick it. It is attuned to that frequency. Instead, pick 102.7 or something like that. Something, Kiss FM, something everyone is listening to. But no, they pick it very low on the frequency. So it only works if you turn your own radio onto this, and it will be broadcast on this. Yeah. And this was my issue. I had been watching this commercial for years and years, and I had...
Because they did use the same commercial for a very long time.
For a very long time. And I had imagined in my mind a situation where I would be throwing my voice like a ventriloquist, a Mr. Microphone ventriloquist, into other people's radios.
Or like a terrifying big brother who controlled all methods of communication.
Sure, certainly.
One of those.
Yes. Now, I've talked about my disappointment with the product 2 years in a row, and it came to my attention through sharp-eared listeners that the
bats
that the commercial does not imply that you would be throwing your voice into another radio.
Yeah.
It implies that you would have your own radio and turn it up so loudly that when you said, hey, good looking, I'll be back to pick you up later.
And Steph Curry for
what are you doing? Cody, this is the literally 10th time you have interrupted our show by watching something on the computer while you are supposed to be recording the show.
It's sort of astonishing that you still have a job here.
You're one of our oldest employees, and I love you.
This is your most reliable trait, by the way.
This is something that you do. I cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom. I'm right in the middle of one of our cherished Christmas traditions.
Cody, people look forward to this all year long.
All year long. And here I am in the middle of it.
People have just gotten their families gathered around
their
laptop.
I'm about to make a mea culpa apology.
This has been a long time coming.
3 years in the making.
Yes.
And now I have to hear about Steph Curry? What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. That's a start. That's a start. And it may be, quite honestly, a finish. We'll see if 2017. I do not have the power to fire you.
Full disclosure, no one in this room has power to fire Cody. That would explain a great deal.
But look, one can only control one's own radio, and one hopes that one has a loud enough radio.
As scripture tells us.
That one can turn it up loud enough to broadcast one's own voice to a good-looking woman as one passes by one. And that would be so distracting to them that they would look up.
So distracting.
One would think that they would have their own radios that they're listening to and not hear something like this. Although when you are listening to the radio, one should be attuned to the noises around them, especially if there are cars about.
Yeah, if you're walking around carrying a radio and holding it right up to your ear.
Sure. As pop culture in the 80s and 70s showed us. A lot of people would do this.
A lot of people would do this.
Up to the ear.
It's your responsibility to be alert and aware of your surroundings.
With one ear, listen for car sounds.
So,
and even if you're indoors, look, there are a lot of news stories every year about cars crashing into mini-marts, houses.
Yeah.
I saw Straight Outta Compton, those guys, very first scene, boom, right in the living room. So
now, can you imagine? You're in your living room, you're listening to your radio, you're not paying attention because you think, oh, I'm in my house.
I'm in my house. Of course, a car's not going to come crashing
That's
through
when you have to pay attention the most.
Because that's when you least expect it. One ear, always for car sounds.
Always for car sounds. So then what, you're going to let yourself be manslaughtered? And then Jessica Fletcher has to come in on her goddamn bike?
Vehicular manslaughter, she wrote.
Investigate?
Oh, not this Christmas. So look, what happened was...
Here it comes, the big moment everyone's been waiting for.
I got this news. I heard, hey, you're wrong about this commercial, which is seared into your brain. My brain, specifically. I've watched so many times I've watched this commercial, and that was my impression of the Mr. Microphone. I've come to realize that, no. When you watch the commercial, I pulled up the actual commercial, and I think this cannot be the version that I watched so many times.
Here's the version that I remember that's seared into my brain.
Okay.
There is a young lady walking down the street. There are 3 guys in a convertible. They have a Mr. Microphone. The one guy says, via his car radio, hey, good looking, we'll be back to pick you up later.
Hey, good looking, we'll be back to pick you up later.
Okay, now see, that is the version in my brain too, but the only one, the original, that is online. There are 2 commercials that I found online. The only one that features a car of gentlemen saying that, they never show the women. They never show the women.
You just see these 3 assholes?
You just see these
going,
3
hey,
assholes.
good looking, we'll be back to pick you up later?
Yes. And I thought to myself, can that be possible that we are remembering women, beautiful women walking down the street, and then them being a reaction? But maybe.
Here's what's very, I think, a comfort. How progressive that commercial was back then.
To not show
the gender.
The gender.
They didn't show the gender of the person.
Oh,
that was
true.
the good-looking one.
Maybe you're right.
It could be a man, could be a woman.
That's true. That is a great.
So
great
it
point.
allowed you to put yourself in, if I may, the driver's seat.
Right.
What if you were that man with the Mr. Microphone? Who's the good-looking person you're seeing?
These days it's anything. Is it a table? It's like who knows what people are in love with these days? I don't know.
I don't think they were yelling at a table.
Maybe he's going antiquing. And he's like, hey, good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later.
Like people who put their stuff by the side.
Yeah, it's a garage sale.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I think there has to be a later version of this commercial where you see the women. I think because here, and I
can see it in my mind very clearly.
I can too. But here's another thing that I found out about this year, that there is a theory I have always said ever since I was a young man: the Berenstein Bears.
Yes.
We've talked about this a little. And
I talked about this on my show with someone else.
We may have talked about it on tour, or maybe we did not talk about it.
I don't remember talking about this with you.
Okay, I've read this, but okay. So I've said the Berenstein Bears forever, growing up. I was shocked to find that it is the Bernstein Bears.
Oh, see, I thought it was the Berenstain Bears. Oh, the mummy.
Hold on. Let's look it up.
Look it up, Scotty. Look it up.
It is the Berenstain Bears.
Oh,
but
why does that sound familiar?
It's the Berenstain Bears, but I have always thought it was the Berenstein
Sure,
Bears.
because that's a name that you've maybe is closer to a name you've heard before.
Yeah. Now, there's a theory online.
Who ends their name in Stain? It's crazy.
There are so many people apparently who think it is the Berenstein Bears,
Yes.
spelled Stein, not Ain, which is what it is. There's so many people that think it is the Berenstein Bears that they believe time travelers have gone back in time and changed it to Berenstain Bears.
Why?
And we all still retain our memories.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But that is what I think may be happening here with the Mr. Microphone. Until and some of you people out there may be able to send us a later version of this commercial. I'll talk about the later version that I did find in a minute. But the version that I saw from 1978 is so old and shitty that it can't be the version that we saw so many times as a kid. Can it?
Why? Why can't it be?
It starts off, it looks so bad.
I got a Mr. Microphone and I love it.
It starts off with two just dopes going, "Hey, what do you got there?" "Oh, Mr. Microphone. Oh, I heard of that." It's so bad.
Here's all I remember is the guys in the car and the ladies who
Right.
apparently did not exist.
Right.
And the guy with his radio on his shoulder who was walking down the street singing Jingle Bells.
I don't know about Jingle Bells.
There are no attaching wires, so you're free to move around.
There is an African-American gentleman who's like dancing with his ghetto blaster next to his ear and singing into a microphone at one point.
Yes.
I think there must be a version from 1983 or so that upgraded all of these scenes that we're just not seeing. Anyway, this is a mystery for next year's Best-Ofs. Hopefully some people will do a little research. Now, I was like, this can't be the commercial that I've seen. So I did a little research and I found a version from 1981 or 2, which upgrades the look of the commercial considerably. It looks like a professional commercial again. Right. But the "Hey, good look," the "Hey, good looking, I'll be back to pick you up later" is said by a child on a bike.
Hey, good looking, I'll be back, pick you up later.
Now, I think then that's a reference to the original iconic commercial. And they were having some fun with it.
They're having some fun where they were saying like, "Oh, even kids can be..."
Even kids want to fuck.
And that's what we want to say this Christmas. Even kids want to fuck.
So let them!
Let them, moms.
Let kids fuck each other.
What if it was like 1 year on January 1st, 2017? Every elementary school.
This is a purge scenario?
Yeah, it's not even a purge scenario, but it's like on January 1st, everyone said, "Look, we know it's New Year's Day. Get your kids in school." I know they traditionally have it off on January 1st.
Right.
Get everyone come to the school because we have something important to say. And every single principal of every single elementary school said, "Guys, we're not going to look down on you guys anymore. In fact, we encourage you. All of you kids fuck each other." All the time.
All of you small children, you are free to be sexually active.
Do whatever you want. There are no rules anymore.
But look, the only rule is it's got to be consensual.
It's got to be consensual, of course. And have fun.
And have fun.
What do you think would happen?
What do I think? What happened?
And how would they all coordinate
would the parents
this?
all go along with it?
Yeah, they all...
Well, if all the schools got together and said, it's okay.
Anyway, the other weird part about this...
Anyway. Yeah.
The other strange part about this second Mr. Microphone commercial is there is a section where it is a group of Hispanic people sitting around, and it says, "Señor Microfono es numero uno." And,
What?
Very weird.
And are they then singing a song in Spanish?
They're like going, "Yay!" into their own, or they're going, I don't know.
They're just cheering for the Mr. Microphone.
Yeah, for the Mr. Microphone. And then there's another scene where a 12-year-old girl is at her birthday party and she has a stack of presents and she's opened 10 of them and 9 are Mr. Microphones. And she opens another one and goes, "Another Mr. Microphone! Yay!" And everyone cheers.
Another Mr. Microphone.
I think at that point, the makers of Mr. Microphone were being.
They're stretching the truth
there.
a wee little bit.
Come on, guys.
A wee little bit. Come on, guys.
Wow.
Anything now? Do you have anything to add to the Mr. Microphone mythos?
I was obsessed with it as a child. Never had one.
Never had one. Yeah.
I don't even know if I ever saw one in person.
I don't think I had, by the way, the actual legit Ronco Mr. Microphone. I believe I had my sister. I believe got a Barbie version, and I was like, "Oh boy, one of these that I have coveted for so long, so I could tell women everywhere that I was going to pick them up later."
So that you'll never know the powers of the real Mr. Microphone.
I don't know what radius it would broadcast to. So much is
Probably
unsaid.
miles.
Probably.
Yeah, I assume. I mean, I'm left to wonder, having never experienced it.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to look up those commercials because I also have not seen them in 30 years.
You'd be shocked at how bad the original one is. It is so shoddily made. There has to be a version from later on in the mid 80s that we watched. I don't know. There has to be. I pray there was.
This is my prayer.
All right. Well, we did it. We talked about it for another year.
There we go. The tradition has been fulfilled.